Do I need to look at the camera?
No.
All right, my name is Mrs. Jevieski, and I have a student by the name of Timothy that is unmotivated and not interested in doing any classwork unless he comes in first place or has the best score. What would you suggest to do?
Okay, so let's first start off with what is it that he's doing exactly?
If he's asked a question in class, whole group, he responds with, I don't know, and puts his head down and makes noises by, as people say, sucking their teeth.
Oh, okay. So when he does that, what is your response?
My response is, Tim, you know this information, you got this, you can do it, please answer the question.
Okay. Has it in the past been helpful?
No, it has not, but I try to do a positive reinforcement with him because he seems to have a more, any kind of relationship with me if you treat him very killing with kindness kind of aspect. So it's a matter of anything I can try to get out of him because I don't want it to be a repercussion. I'd rather just keep motivating to try to get the answer.
Okay, so it sounds like you've tried different interventions to get him.
Correct, yes. Even not calling on him whole group, I've tried even just working with him in small group, but I'm receiving the same response.
Okay. So when that happens, how is that affecting, is that having any effect on you personally?
The effect on me is that it results in the whole group then kind of chuckling at it because they think he's trying to do a joke. And I kind of lose the momentum of the class. So to get him on board with at least trying to respond would help not only himself, but the others around him.
Okay. And so I did hear you say he knows the information. So
correct, he's a very intelligent student. He just does not want to put forth the effort.
Okay. Okay, so that's what you're saying. He's really just not motivated.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So with the interventions you tried positive reinforcement.
Correct.
You've tried smaller groups to where he's not singled out in a large group, more so just it's smaller peers. Anything else that you've tried outside of those?
I've tried one-on-one conversations.
Okay.
I've even tried contacting home just to see if there's something that's bothering him. They're noticing the same behaviors. So we're all struggling at this point. The only thing he seems interested in right now is basketball.
Oh, so he's a sports player.
Correct.
He plays sports, okay. Have you used any, I guess, incentives when it comes to his sports, or have you taken away anything or given anything?
I have tried taking away, when it was basketball season, taking away games from him, but I don't know if there was any follow through because I did not attend any of them.
Okay, so you went that angle as well. You've done that. Okay, so what are some other things that you are seeing outside of just him not being motivated?
That he's more interested in socializing with his peers rather than paying attention in class. That also he's very tired a lot, so it's just, he has his head down a lot, so breaking through to him is a very tough mission.
Okay, and you have had the one-on-one conversations with him?
Correct, and he's very uninterested in talking with me. It's very hard to work on a relationship with him.
So you get nothing?
Nothing.
Okay, so what are some ways, do you have this issue, of have you seen this with other students in the classroom?
Not as strongly as him. I do have some pull from other students that they do not want to answer, friends of his actually, but I have worked on my relationships with them as well, and they are turning around. So I was hoping that breaking through to his circle would have more of a positive effect on him, and I'm waiting to see the outcome.
Okay. Have you, so it sounds like you've identified possibly with the fact that his peers, the ones he associated himself with, also had the same issues, and you were able to build that bond with them, or a positive relationship. You're just not able to get through to him.
Correct. So for example, I know he has a very good friend in my class, and we were working on a positive relationship through the past couple weeks. Luckily, the student had an unfortunate event on a field trip, was given him as part of my group, and we were able to connect on that level that day. And since then, he's been very open with me and at least trying in class now that he's participating and trying to motivate others around him. I have spoken to at home, I've been contacted, and that he's actually earned a privilege back at home. So that's even strengthened our relationship, where he looks at our relationship as something good now. So I'm hoping that it has a positive effect, but it's still too soon to tell.
Okay. And with Timothy, I know you say you reached out to mom. And
Several times, yes.
And they say they've had the same issue.
Correct. And I've also started to reach out to dad, where dad seems to have more of an authority figure place with him, that it seems to have more of a effect with him. But then the next day it's back to the original.
Okay. Has mom said anything, any interventions that she's tried to implement that may?
She said that he should know better, and that she'll work with him.
Okay. So have you sat down with him and asked him what is it that you could possibly do to assist him in becoming more motivated?
I think I've done that in the past, but I haven't done it recently.
Okay. So maybe we can sit down together with him and figure out what it is that we can possibly do to help motivate him, whether it's some different type of positive reinforcement, possibly do you do any type of just incentive overall for your students?
I do give homework passes when I see students going above and beyond, and we also have purple cards where we sign as an incentive mark that if they earn a certain amount, they get a prize as well.
Okay, and that has not helped him to be?
If he's not in first place with it, he doesn't want a part of it.
What do you mean first place?
First place, for example, we were playing a review game in math, and Timothy's very concerned with a scoreboard that I present on my screen that it has on there, and if his name is not in first, he gives up. He will shut his iPad down and put his head down and say, this is dumb, and doesn't want to partake in it.
Okay. And this is a behavior you see often?
More often now than I have at the beginning of the year.
Okay. So it seems like you definitely try to implement to where learning it's not just paper pencil, but interacting and fun.
Correct. I try to get them on technology because I know that's something they need, and then also that they're very good at using compared to what we may be used to using.
Okay. All right. So maybe just sitting down with him and seeing what we could do to help him become more motivated, and find out if there's something going on at home that may keep him from being attentive as he should be. Have you spoken with other teachers to see what his behavior is like?
I have last year, because I had the student last year as well, but I have not reached out as much this year.
Okay. So I think the route that we can possibly take is to sit down with him and see, because we've come up with the fact that he's just not motivated, despite the attempts of trying to make it fun, adding the education to fun, giving homework passes, incentives such as those things, and he's just not motivated. And you say he knows the information, because I would assume he's displayed that to you in his assignments for you to come to that conclusion. So maybe there's something else going on at home or just in general that may cause him to not be motivated. And is he one of those students who will come and ask for help? Okay.
No, he's very reserved. He seems to respond more to male teachers, especially males he has a strong relationship with, but unfortunately I don't think he has that this year.
Okay. All right. So that's what we can do, that we can take that step, sit down with him, figure out what's going on, maybe adding, if there is a male teacher available, to sit down with him and try to get that conversation started to see what we can do to help him, or at least figure out what's going on to where he's just has no interest in, seems no interest in learning. All right, well, thank you for stopping by.
Thank you so much for helping.
We'll touch bases, we'll say, when is, I guess maybe in a week from today.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, and then you can sit down, let the student know if you would like. I would like to also come in and observe to see how he is in your classroom, to see if, if I observe the same type of behaviors. And then if need be, I can pull him to the side and kind of get an idea before we sit down together as a team.
That'd be great.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, girl.